This here's a video for all the people who have been turned into elks. I mean, listen, Planeswalkers and Commander aren't usually super powerful, but lately, there have been several games in which I've seen generically powerful Planeswalkers like Teferi, Master of Time, Oko, Thief of Crowns, and Elspeth, Sun's Champion, not to mention the 21 or so Planeswalkers that can be your commander. It very much does depend on your meta, but you may want to include some ways to remove these pesky jerks right off the battlefield. What we're looking for here is versatility. We want cards that can deal with other permanent types or have some other use. Of course, some cards are staples for a reason. Anything that says exile target permanent or exile target non-land permanent or destroy target permanent are great cards to include in your commander decks. But what if we are building on a budget? Let's look at some options besides Anguish Unmaking, Vindicate, Beast Within, Generous Gift, Chaos Warp, and Assassin's Trophy. What about Vampire Hexmage? Black for a creature. Vampire Shaman, it's a 2/1 with First Strike. Sacrifice it. Remove all counters from target permanent. This thing has vampire synergies. You can get really creative with its ability. Dark Depths combo, ring a bell, buddy. Aerial Extortionist, 3 white for a creature bird soldier. It's a 4/3 with flying. When it enters the battlefield or deals combat damage to a player, exile up to 1 target non-land permanent. For as long as that card remains exiled, its owner may cast it. Whenever another player casts a spell from anywhere other than their hand, draw a card. Well, listen, this card rocks. You can hit Planeswalkers if needed, brother. Oh, the Archon of Justice, looking like the Green Goblin up there riding a Pegasus. 3 white for a creature. It's an Archon with flying. It's 4/4. When it dies, exile target permanent. Great in decks packing sacrifice outlets. This can beat in and die at the most opportune time if you're running a free instant speed sacrifice outlet. And you got Mangara of Karandor, 1 white for a legendary creature, human wizard. It's a 1/1. Tap and exile Maranga of Karambador and target permanent. This guy, what a goober he is. He just wants to take you for a date in the Shadow Realm, brother. And you got Rite of Oblivion. White and black for a sorcery. As an additional cost to cast a spell, sacrifice a non-land permanent. Exile target non-land permanent has flashback for 2 white and a black. The flashback on this can be really good, but you need to be in a deck where you're making tokens and sacrificing things for value. If you wanted to stab werewolves, why didn't you just say so? High Priest of Penance, old Father Turnbull over there. White and a black for a creature, human cleric, it's a 1/1. When the High Priest of Penance is dealt damage, you may destroy target non-land permanent. This guy was my high school principal. It's a human cleric. He just sits there begging you to attack and then he's gonna get your stuff. Crazy old guy. Mortality Spear, 2 black and a green for an instant. This spell costs 2 less to cast if you gain life this turn. Destroy target non-land permanent. This is tailor-made for Dina Soul Steeper decks, but it's an interesting option for life gain decks in these colors, of which I don't know any others. And you got Mythos of Nethroi, 2 and a black for an instant. Destroy target non-land permanent if it's a creature or if green and white was spent to cast the spell. This is an interesting card, and it's got my boy Nethroi just acting like a real knucklehead, eating all of his friends. You got Silumgar's Command, 3 blue and a black for an instant. Choose 2. Counter target non-creature spell, return target permanent to its owner's hand. Target creature gets -3/-3 until end of turn or destroy target planeswalker. This is versatile, instant speed, 2 for 1 in a deck where you're playing at instant speed. I like it. Wild Magic Surge, red and a red for an instant. Destroy target permanent an opponent controls. Its controller reveals cards from the top of their library until they reveal a permanent card that shares a card type with that permanent. They put that card onto the battlefield and the rest on the bottom of their library in a random order. I think of this card as a land killer, but it can get anything. Kill that guy as Cradle, give him a forest. Windgrace's Judgment, notoriously judgy cat, 3 black and a green for an instant. For any number of opponents, destroy target non-land permanent that player controls. This is incredibly versatile, efficient, and very mean. Everyone's gonna hate you. That's how you know it's a good magic card. It grows the economy. Woodfall Primus, 5 green. For a creature, Treefolk Shaman, it's a 6/6 with trample. When it enters the battlefield, destroy target non-creature permanent. It has persist. This hits so much, and I love Primus, dude. Primus was a band from the 90s fronted by bass prodigy Les Claypool. Check it out. Angelic Ascension, I don't know if this is a good card or not. It's 1 white for an instant. Exile target creature or planeswalker. Its controller creates a 4/4 white angel creature token with flying. This exiles, but they get a big beefy angel. This one's kind of harder to justify as being any good, but it does hit planeswalkers. Baleful Mastery, what is going on in this art, dude? The guy's just flinging black snakes at somebody, I guess. It's 3 and a black for an instant. You may pay 1 and a black rather than pay the spell's mana cost. If the 1 and a black cost was paid, an opponent draws a card. Exile target creature or planeswalker. Very efficient removal that can hit a planeswalker, plus you get to play a little politics, right? Bouncer's Beatdown. What are we, just romanticizing bouncers beating people down now? 2 and a green for an instant. This spell costs 2 less to cast if it targets a black permanent. Bouncer's Beatdown deals X damage to target creature or planeswalker, where X is the greatest power among creatures you control. If that creature or planeswalker would die this turn, exile it instead. This is a very versatile removal spell for a big creature beatdown deck. Eaten Alive Dude Black for a sorcery. As an additional cost to cast this spell, sacrifice your creature or pay 3 and a black. Exile target creature or planeswalker. This is another versatile removal spell that needs to be in a deck where you're getting value sacrificing tokens or little creatures. E2 Extinction is 3 and a black for an instant. Exile target creature or planeswalker. Surveil 1. My buddy Barge, dude, he loves this card. He's tried to trade it with me like 100 times, and I'm always like, bro, I already have like 10 of these. I don't need another one. Flay Essence, 1 black for a sorcery. Exile target creature or planeswalker. You gain life equal to the number of counters on it. Now we're talking, buddy. This is a great card in a planeswalker heavy meta. Yawgmoth's Vile Offering, 4 and a black for a legendary sorcery. You may cast a legendary sorcery only if you control a legendary creature or planeswalker. Remember that. Put up to 1 target creature or planeswalker card from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control, so that's any graveyard, and then destroy up to 1 target creature or planeswalker. Exile Yawgmoth's Vile Offering. I've used this in decks before. This is an overperformer. It's reanimator shenanigans and its removal. It can hit any graveyard. Love this card. The art is when Yawgmoth turned himself into a wall or something. I don't know the lore. Fracture. This looks like an Alanis Morissette's album cover. White and a black for an instant. Destroy target artifact, enchantment, or planeswalker. This is versatile instant speed removal. If you're running cards like Crush Contraband, I mean, consider this. Graph Reaver. This isn't a great card. 1 and a black for a creature zombie warrior. It's a 3/3 with exploit. When Graph Reaver exploits a creature, destroy target planeswalker. At the beginning of your upkeep, Graph Reaver deals 1 damage to you. I put this in my John Arenicus deck, so it's bigger than it should be for 2 mana. The exploit is just icing on the cake if we need it. If not, it's beating opponents for 5 for just 2 mana. Then we have the Sword of Sinew and Steel. 3 generic mana for an artifact. Equipped creature gets +2/+2 protection from black and red. When it deals combat damage to a player, destroy up to 1 target planeswalker and up to 1 target artifact. So anywhere on the battlefield, you have equipped for 2. Maybe one of the worst swords. This thing is great if you're facing planeswalkers and want equipment synergy though. Unleash the Inferno, 1 black, red, and a green for an instant. Unleash the Inferno deals 7 damage to target creature or planeswalker. When it deals excess damage this way, destroy target artifact or enchantment an opponent controls with mana value less than or equal to that amount of excess damage. This is great in a burn deck. It's very versatile removal. It's possible 2 for 1. You ever see this guy, Zagras, Thief of Heartbeats? Or Zagras maybe? I don't know. 4 black and a red for a legendary creature, Vampire Rogue. It's a 4/4. The spell costs 1 less to cast for each creature in your party. Flying, Death Touch, Haste. Other creatures you control have Death Touch. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a planeswalker, destroy that planeswalker. It's got like Planeswalker Death Touch. This thing is such a house. It gives all your flying creatures Death Touch. It's so good, dude. Anyways, there's some versatile, interesting planeswalker removal spells that you can include in your commander decks. These are not going to make it into any CEDH decks, alright? If you're playing super high power, you want to get real sweaty and just play only the cards that go in CEDH decks, this video is not for you. Or is it? I don't know. Just put the staples I listed out at the front of the video if you want a deck like that, but you won't get any hipster credit, alright? You want to be cool in front of your friends. You want your friend Kevin to say, oh, I didn't know what that card does. I never saw that card before. Sneaky G from Better Commander, signing off.